accurate local forecast with meteorologist Jackson Chastain starts now.
Well, we're sitting relatively cool to start the morning. This is actually a little bit cooler than we were yesterday. If you remember, we sat in the 60s. Now we're in the 50s. About 5 degrees of temperature change right there, but I'm not complaining. I like this cooler weather. It's nice. I don't like the drizzle nearly as much, but that's something that we have to contend with as well. And this is the fourth day that we've had such conditions. Now, these aren't as widespread. The rain isn't nearly as heavy, but with that said, it's just not as comfortable. You know, obviously you'd like drier weather. You don't like cold and wet. That's not a good combo, but that's exactly what we have right now. Not a whole lot in terms of heavier downpours, but still something where many of us are getting kind of these on and off showers to start your Tuesday morning. The remnants of Ophelia playing at least a little bit of a role because that circulation just off the coast of the mid-Atlantic and holding pretty steady there. And it will actually play another role in a rain chance we have this coming Friday, and I'll touch on that briefly in a second. But as for the rest of Tuesday, basically until lunchtime, we're watching these showers continue to propagate across much of the mid-state, and then after into the afternoon, that's when things start to die off just a little bit. Now, you could see a stray shower. I'm not saying you won't, but what I am saying is coverage should decrease drastically. That'll be a good thing for us there. And with that said, not looking as wet heading into the early part of October. So if you don't like the conditions now, I've got some good news for you there. So below average in terms of really just the amount of rain that we might see. That's kind of what it's trending towards at this point. As for the rest of your afternoon, sitting in the low 60s, we got the chance to warm up into the upper 60s yesterday. That was thanks to basically a window of sunshine early yesterday morning that allowed us to just bump that thermometer reading by 2-3 degrees to well above what we anticipated, which is the low 60s. Well, as you get into the rest of the week, we will get into the upper 60s and then eventually into the actually mid to upper 70s, especially heading into the early parts of next week. Now, this is a nice stretch here. Lots of sunshine, staying dry, relatively mild and warm weather. Getting into the weekend, Friday is that day I was mentioning where we could see some rain, and that's because basically the remnants of Ophelia, that circulation is actually in some model runs reversing course and heading back down south, looping around just a little bit. So that will be something that we're tracking, that we're going to pay attention to. In the meantime, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you start to warm up just a little bit. You see some peaks of sunshine in there, still relatively cloudy, but overall, I would say a lot to look forward to with this forecast. It's obviously not the most interesting. You don't have any crazy weather patterns, but in terms of consistency, you're getting a lot of that. Your plans won't be ruined, and if you do want to spend time outside, there's lots of opportunity to do so, Kayla.
I would say so. Well, thank you very much, Jackson.